Yeah, it's Memorial Day weekend. Um, there are there are members of the United States Armed Forces who, you know, it's normal for our sacrifices to include family time. We don't get a lot of family time, and the current administration doesn't give a fuck about that. Let us share a video file from. Let me see here. Where did I drop that file? There it is. Dude, dude just wants to
A
spend the holiday
U.S.
week.
military wife from Australia is sharing her story after she was detained by border officials at the Honolulu airport.
U.S. military wife. She's Australian, and her husband's a lieutenant in the United States Army.
Our Annalisa Burgos spoke to her about what she's calling the holiday from hell.
Last Sunday, 25-year-old Nicole Sirocos was looking forward to a 3-week vacation in Honolulu with her mom.
That's where my mother and father had their honeymoon, so it held a very sentimental place in her heart.
It was Sirocos' third visit to see her husband Matt, a U.S. Army lieutenant stationed on Oahu. The newlyweds married last December. She said she hadn't had issues before, but this time U.S. border officials.
Yeah, before the Trump administration, it's very normal for U.S. military wife to come visit her husband on a long weekend. When you're a xenophobic piece of shit like Donald Trump, shit like this happens.
Officials at Honolulu Airport flagged her for additional screening.
He went from completely composed to just yelling at the top of his lungs, telling my mother to go stand at the back of the line and to, excuse my language, shut up. So
Who's he? He is a member of the Customs and Border Patrol. Yeah, all right. This is what we've come to, guys.
automatically started crying because that was my first response.
Sirocco said they were taken to a
By the way, she holds a U.S. passport.
holding room. Their bags and phones were searched, and they were asked a slew of questions. Everything from her work as a former police officer to whether her tattoos were gang-related to her marriage to an American.
When I did say that I was married to somebody in the U.S. Army, the officers laughed at me.
And that's where we're at. If you're married to a soldier, you're going to get laughed at. Maybe they didn't believe her. Maybe they didn't believe it being annotated on her fucking passport.
They thought it was quite comical. I don't know whether they thought I was telling the truth or not. They kept telling me that I had too many clothes in my suitcase. So because of that, they assumed that I was going to overstay my visa.
Sirocco's was
Basically, they're assuming she's going to commit a crime when she has not committed a crime. A woman carrying too many clothes? Oh my God, I better talk to Holly. Okay.
subject to more screening. Her fingerprints and a DNA swab of her mouth were taken, while her mother was free to go. Her heart sunk when
Why in the fuck would they want to take a DNA swab? What the fuck's going on here? Hey, Nerdy, how you doing?
officials told her she would be declined entry to the U.S. and deported back to Australia the next day.
And he said, so basically what is going to happen is we're going to send you to a prison overnight where you will stay.
Use the word prison?
Prison. Yes.
Not detention center, but a
Not
prison.
detention center, he said prison.
That is right. U.S. Army wife coming to Hawaii to visit her mom and her husband on a 3-day weekend is going to be put in prison and deported back without a hearing, without due process, without habeas corpus. And she's going to be flagged and barred from future visits. For what? For wanting to spend the weekend with her husband and her mom.
And I automatically I started crying again. Because when you think prison, you think big time criminals. Like, I don't know who I'm being housed with.
Sirocco said officials conducted a body cavity search, walked her through the airport in handcuffs, and drove her to the
A body cavity search. U.S. Army wife gets a body cavity search just for wanting to come visit her husband.
federal detention center.
They stated, no, you're not under arrest. You haven't done anything wrong and you will be facing no criminal charges. So
There you
I was
go.
very confused as to why this was all happening.
At the prison, Sirocco's was strip searched and detained with women who had been convicted of murder and drug offenses. Because she had missed the cutoff for dinner, she was not given food. At no point was she allowed to call her husband or mother.
And I found that so absurd, because if I'm going to be
Even the worst criminals in the United States, even the worst American citizen criminals get a phone call. This girl didn't even get a phone call.
there overnight, my right, just as a human being, should be to contact at least one person.
After a sleepless night, she was brought back to the airport the next morning, where her mother joined her. Only then was she offered a phone call with her husband.
I think we were both just very emotional. We hadn't spoken to each other in 24 hours. He didn't know where I was or whether I was safe. It's not only myself, it's my mother and my husband that also had to endure that pain. You know, my husband being a current serving member, serve his country and
Imagine, listen to, oh, stop. Okay. He's a United States Army lieutenant. You know, he's sworn an oath to the Constitution and to obey the orders of the president and the officers appointed over him. What the fuck is he supposed to do? His rights have been violated. His wife's rights have been violated.
to be treated in that way, I find very disgusting.
Sirocco's husband is now in Sydney with his wife. She says she wants people to know the risks of traveling to the U.S. now.
It's made it physically impossible for me to even ever enter the United States ever again.
What does that mean for your marriage?
All right, you motherfuckers who voted for Donald Trump. This is where we're at. This is where we're at. Okay. Lieutenant apparently is in Sydney, Australia now. For how long? I don't know. Does he want to come back? I kind of sort of wouldn't really blame him if he didn't want to come back, you know? Because this is what his president did to his family. Gosh, I hope he didn't vote for Trump. A lot of people who voted for Trump are having the day they voted for. I hope this isn't one of them. I mean, I don't wish this kind of bullshit on anybody. But if you voted for Trump, well, you kind of sort of brought it on yourself. I don't know. I don't know who he voted for. I'm pretty sure on June 14th, I'm sorry, the United States Armed Forces is having a little parade from the National Archives to just past the White House on Constitution Ave. It is still my fantasy that when they get to 16th Street, they do a column right march and they end this shit. Wouldn't surprise me if you guys watch the the president address the graduates at West Point. These poor fuckers, they enrolled into West Point when it was an absolute certainty that Trump would never be president again, that Joe Biden had saved democracy. And the last year before they graduate, they find out that Dick Smack won. He comes to the graduation wearing a red hat, dark suit, and a purple tie. And I'm yelling, Donald, it's not Gay Pride Month yet. I mean, your purple tie looks really beautiful, but it's not Gay Pride Month. Gay Pride Month is June, not May. Anyway, when he did things that he paused for applause, you gotta kind of reluctant. Are we supposed to clap now? Yeah. these people were not happy that he was at their graduation. They probably envied some folks over in Maryland who had a commencement speech done by Kermit the Frog. When I saw the headline, Kermit the Frog is at a graduation speech, I thought, how fucking stupid. And then when I actually watched the speech, then later watched the Trump speech at West Point, I'm like, I'll take Kermit over Trump any fucking day. Imagine the eternal dialogue he's having with himself over this nonsense. Absolutely. Abso-friggin-lutely. All right. I just wanted to put that out there. I know Happy Memorial Day is a redundancy. It's a contradiction. It's a paradox. We're supposed to remember those who gave the ultimate sacrifice. How can you be happy about that? Usually I would say be happy because of the ultimate sacrifice. We are the freest, greatest nation on the planet. This year, the first Memorial Day in the second term of President Trump, I'm not so sure. 86-47, a fucking men. 86-47. All right. Well, thank you all three of you for watching, and have a good Memorial weekend, and don't forget the hot dogs.
Thank you for joining us in our attempt to escape reality for a while. See you next time.